94.9 CHRW. That was Alyeus live here in the studio with the song 40 Days at Sea. Before that, we heard Tracing Circuits. And once again, I welcome into the studio Kyle, Dean, Ivan, Andrew. How's it going, guys?
Good.
The first question I have is, and you might think it's a basic question, but I like to put a different spin on it, and it's about your name. I'm not going to ask what your name means, but first, why the name Alyeus, but what do you want your name to mean to people that hear your band?
Well, I remember when we came up with the name, we were thinking just something simple, that we didn't want one of those like really, really long names. We wanted something to stick to people that was easy to remember. And eventually, somehow in a conversation, we were just talking about names, and my dad's name is actually Alyeus, spelled differently. And we're like, man, you know what, that really sounds like a really epic name. It sounds like an old name from like, who knows when. And that's how it kind of stuck, and it actually turned to be one of the main characters in the story of ours that we developed.
Is there a particular meaning, like, of the name Alyeus, or does it mean something?
It probably is.
It just sounded like a really nice name.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah.
What drives you guys to write and perform the deep, and I like to use this word, landscape, the deep and landscape-like music that you do?
That's a very nice description of it. Well, I think it's just kind of like an interest in moving away from what's played like in the norm, like in the mainstream, for example.
Yeah.
Because like we know we're not the type of band that's going to get played on mainstream radio all the time. So it's just kind of an interest in like more underground music and like a mixing of all of our influences together. Because we all come from very different places musically. So it's just kind of like putting all that together and meshing it together. Kind of, there's Alyeus right there.
And also just being able to complete the story and being able to tell the tale that we're looking to do through the music is, we're always excited about writing the new songs in order just to make it the ultimate masterpiece.
It's like a movie score almost.
Yeah.
So landscape is a really good word that you use, because that's exactly what we want to do. We want it, like from beginning to end of the album, just have one solid piece of music, I guess.
We want people to be able to sit there and listen to it and watch a movie in their head while they listen to it.
Nice. I'm sort of reminded of when you listen to 10,000 Days from Tool, and you have that CD booklet that you can look at. You know, it just adds that extra experience to listening to the music. To touch upon that, Kyle, I just want to ask you: is it you mostly who writes the lyrical content, or do you all contribute?
Actually, it kind of started out when, in terms of lyrics, we want to look at the story first, and we all have sat down and collectively we've all created this story together, and just out of that deciding on what lyrics need to be told in a particular song, we've all just kind of chipped in. And if I come up and write a lyrics, I'll always run it by the guys, and just in terms of singing it, like, we'll just go over and over just to make sure that it again fits that piece of music. But generally, we're all kind of writing the lyrics in some way.
Cool. So that brings me to my next question. You mentioned at one of your last live shows that I saw you guys play that your music is intended to be a part of this interesting trilogy, and I was wondering if you could explain that.
I'll dive into that a little bit. So we came up with this storyline. So basically our entire band revolves around this concept story that we're designing with these characters who will be introduced like throughout the album. And the first album, 40 Days at Sea, is actually the second part of a 3-part story. So it's diving sort of right into the middle of it.
Star Wars.
So we've been developing the story, and every song is sort of a description of like what's going on throughout the story. And the first CD, 40 Days at Sea, starts with our main character like waking up in the middle of a storm on a ship, and he has no idea how he got there. And the whole story from starting there to the end, ending with the last dash of Icarus on that album as well, is just like this character's adventure from like start to finish. And then when we get past this one, we're actually going to release the first part of the story next.
Oh, okay. So how many songs do you guys have written for, it seems like a pretty big undertaking?
Well, we don't have them all written yet. We're just working on the first album so far, and right now I think we have like 10, 11 songs.
Yeah,
it's basically
like
done.
complete.
Yeah, for the most part, the first album's done. Because we're not obviously not planning on releasing them all at the same time, like right away. So, you know, we just take our time. Like we've been a band for 2 years, So we take our time with songs. Like some songs take us a year to write,
Yeah.
literally. So we take our time for sure.
And even on the album, you'll have songs that will have lyrics in them and that are telling a story, but also part of the concept base is we want it to flow continuously like a 10,000 Days, where we're also writing instrumentals that are almost like little filler pieces in between. So it literally is, you start it and you end it. You just something you listen all the way through. So we're having fun writing it with either just the instrumental side of things and then just with the other songwriting.
Cool. What kind of reception has your music experienced? It's a lot more interesting and deeper than some of the more common rock bands I see in these parts. So, like, how has it been out there for you guys?
Well, there's one show where there was a few like younger teenagers there, and after the show, I think the one guy came up to each and every one of us and just said "epic," and that's all he said. That's all he said. So I mean, like we've definitely been described as that.
That's sort of the drive behind us. Every song has to be epic.
Epic, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the interesting thing about your band that I feel is with you guys, you're offering something extra, and you don't really find that around here these days. It's, pretty bland in the city of London as far as music goes. So what you guys offer is very encouraging. And where are you guys playing next? Because I'd like to see you play live again around here, and I'm sure people out there would want to know as well.
Next show is Norma Jean's Last Man Standing. And when is that?
It is Friday, September 16th.
Yeah.
There's show starts at 8 and I think goes until 2. We're actually going on at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and early on a Friday.
Yeah, so it's $5 cover for that one, and just gonna be a lot of bands, a lot of fun, and usually they absolutely pack the houses on these things. So it's something that you want to come early, you want to stay to the end, just because a lot of really good bands playing, and they pretty much have been able to showcase all the bands, hopefully up to the same kind of music genre. So it should be nice.
Cool. Best of luck to you guys.
Thank
at
you.
the show. And where can people find you online to see what's up with you guys next? Where are you playing?
We have many a website, but our main ones right now are probably our Reverb Nation, which is reverbnation.com/Alyeus, Alyeus, because nobody knows how to spell it.
Yeah.
That's
Or
fine.
pronounce it.
We're getting our homepage up, Alyeus.com, pretty soon, and that'll have links to all the other sites as well. But for now, Reverb Nation is our main form of contact.
And Facebook as well.
Yeah.
Like us on Facebook.
And Twitter.
So
follow us on
corny.
Twitter.
That's so necessary.
Ivan and Andrew, otherwise known as Alyeus, thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate it. We are going to hear some local messages from 94.9 CHRW, and we will return to Tonight You Should Know. I'm Scott Williams.